ukulele enthusiasts, welcome to another very video edition of My First Ukulele. I am John Allnut, one of the writers and contributors for the My First Ukulele website. I'll leave a link in the description below for more great topics from My First Ukulele. Today I'm going to be reviewing this Mainland ukulele. It is a spruce top classic tenor ukulele. I've got a soft spot for Mainland ukuleles based out of Nashville, Indiana. And this company is ran by Mike Hayter and his partner Tutka. I bought mine at the Brown County Ukulele Festival back in 2021 or 2022. This was a scratch and dent model, so I believe I got $50 to $75 off. You'll see a little tiny nick here. I think somebody was checking it out at the booth and it fell and had a little bit of cosmetic damage. But other than that, it's really nice. I wasn't initially attracted to this ukulele based on looks, but after picking it up and playing it, I was really astonished at the sound at its price point, which at this time in February of 2025 says it's $310 American. This is a standard shaped double bout tenor, and like all Mainland ukuleles, it's largely made in China, but they are sent over for Mike to take a look at in the US for final finishing, setup, and assembly of things like the tuners and the strings. He gets to take a look at all of them and just make sure they're all up to spec. Now this is a classic looking ukulele. I'll bring it a little bit closer. It has this rope binding around the outside. You also might hear it called marquetry. It's also around the headstock at the very top. The bridge is made of rosewood and has a very standard looking tie bridge. Let me see if I can get it up close enough so you can see. It has a straight topped bone saddle here at the top. And the string spacing is fairly narrow at about 42 mil. Doesn't feel too small though, like some ukuleles that I have. I took a look on the inside of the ukulele and the bracing is small and tapered, and everything looks very neat without a hint of like extra glue anywhere. The neck is made of mahogany, and it's a little bit lighter than the rest of the body, just based on the wood that they probably used on the top part of it. It's in 3 different pieces, and it feels really good. It does have that gloss on it, so you can slide up and down pretty fast as long as you don't sweat too much. So it has a medium feel, whereas my Fender ukulele neck feels really chunky, and some other ukulele necks have a really thin neck, which helps you slide up and down really fast if you're going to be soloing or something. The neck is topped with a rosewood fingerboard. It was in really good condition when I bought it. It already had a little bit of the lemon oil all over it. It has a dark stain. It has a lot of character to it. If you really look at it, you can see these different patterns in there. It's not just boring looking. You've got pearly dots at the 5th, 7th, 10th, and 12th frets, and 15. Unfortunately, they don't have any side dots on there, which can be really useful to try and find your place on the neck. But other than that, I'm fine with it. I just wish that they would update that now. So the headstock's pretty standard. It does have kind of a unique bell-looking top to the headstock, but it also has that rope decoration around. Looks pretty traditional. And the tuners are sealed gear tuners. So if you turn it around, you don't see any of the gear because they're sealed, but they hold up very well. They hold tune quite well, and they're very lightweight. When you buy the ukulele, they had Aquila strings on them. They're standard ones. And this was $310. And this is something way cheaper than something like a Pono. Might be double the price at this point. And, these are factory made. They're not made one at a time by an artisan or anything like that. So, they're not a custom instrument or anything like that. But at $300 or $310, I think these are amazing. This stands out in my collection as the loudest ukulele that I have, and that might be because it's spruce topped. Overall, I'm really largely impressed with this ukulele, and every Mainland ukulele I've picked up generally is pretty nice. The only issue I have with this ukulele, at least at the moment, is that the notes down here seem in tune, but when you go beyond the 12th fret, they go a little flat. So I end up having to bend in order to match the pitch. I don't end up here that often, but I do notice that it goes flat quite a bit, and that might be a little bit of sag in the neck or something. The balance of this ukulele is great. A lot of cheaper ukuleles don't consider the balance of them, and holding this one might be my lightest neck that I'm holding on to. There's no neck dive or anything like that with this instrument. Volume is very good, and the sustain is not bad either. I have updated to cigar strings, which aren't really ukulele strings. They're fishing line, Japanese fishing line, which to me helped the sound of this instrument considerably. The Aquilas that came on it, or just the standard ones, they sound a little bit toy-like and didn't have much sustain at all. I understand, cutting costs, those are going to probably be the best costing ones, and they make most beginner ukuleles sound pretty good, but I think these are way better, and they have so much more tone to them. And I'll give you a demo of that before we check out here at the end. So the top is spruce, the sides are mahogany, and the back is mahogany. So it's mostly mahogany and final assembly in USA. So sometimes people say spruce tops are overly bright. I don't think this one is overly bright, and I think probably it's because the mahogany is added to it. If this was all spruce, it would be way too bright, I think. But yeah, it has a lot of punch to it. The sustain is not too bad. It sounds very nice, and you'll definitely be heard if you play it in a way that you're going to project when you play. So when I picked this up, again, I wasn't blown away by its looks. I thought it would look kind of standard or classic. But when I began to play it, I realized how much more sound this had than the ukuleles I was using. I believe at that time I maybe have had a Fender Grace Vanderwaal ukulele, which is really quiet. It's so quiet. You can plug it in, but that was a pretty big disappointment. Maybe a Fender Venice, I had one of those as well. And this was about the next one that I picked up when I went to the Brown County Ukulele Festival. And yeah, as soon as I picked these up and started playing, I just started noticing how much louder, especially moving up the neck. Solid body instruments, I'm noticing, have a lot more tone as you go up there. They're definitely not overbuilt. So I'm going to go over the pros now. So the pros are a very good build for the price of around $300. It's got really pretty looks. It's got the rope binding around the outside, the headstock, and in the body. It's very tidy on the inside. Not that you're going to be looking in there very often. It's got a lot of volume and sustain. It's got like almost like a music box characteristic to it when you're playing along with it, and there's a lot of clarity and just a lot of punch as you go up. Yeah, again, my only big gripe is just when you go up to the top, it goes a little bit flat, and some people would prefer a wider nut on a tenor. My Enya Nova Pro tenor has a much wider nut at the top, which allows you to kind of get in there and noodle around a little bit easier without hitting other strings. But this isn't tiny to me. It seems pretty standard, and I'm pretty used to it now. And then the only other gripe I have is no side dots. So as you're looking down, you pretty much need to know exactly where you're going, or you're going to have to go by feel and not look down. All right, so if you're looking for a traditional looking ukulele, obviously you're going to think the looks of this are pretty top notch. It almost has an orange glow on the mahogany parts of this instrument, especially on the neck. It's very, very orangey, which I think is kind of unique, at least for the ukuleles that I normally see. So if you're looking for traditional ukulele, I'd give this a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. So now I'm going to do a sound demo of it for you. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this video review of the Mainland Spruce Top Classic Mahogany Ukulele. If you enjoyed today's content, please hit like and subscribe down below to the channel. I'm John, and until next time, happy strumming! Bye-bye.